It stinks in here. You want to tell the people at home what happened?
You said it didn't smell that bad literally 5 minutes ago.
But it does.
But last Saturday, I picked up coffee from Starbucks for my trainer and my dear friend who was spending the night. Somebody in front of me hit their brakes and I couldn't catch the coffee in time. And coffee went all over my passenger floor and dashboard everywhere. And I thought I cleaned it all up, but apparently I didn't. It got underneath my plastic mat and my car smells like pretty rank.
You know, about a year ago I did a video about how to buy a new horse and what to look for, and by far it has been my most popular video yet, most talked about, most commented video, so I wanted to go ahead and do another video and we can get a little bit more into it. In the last video about a year ago about buying horses, I talked a lot about nutrition, like what we feed our horses and dewormer and that sort of thing. But in this video, I wanted to talk about what to actually look for when you go and you buy a horse. One of the most crucial aspects of horse ownership is, number one, figuring out what are you going to use that horse for. Is it going to be a ranch horse? Is it going to be a team roping horse? Is it just going to be a companion horse? Like, what are you actually looking for and what breeds satisfy that? A lot of these horses that we ride in the roping scene are quarter horses that have come from some sort of racing bloodline or cutting bloodline or ranch bloodline. Maddie rides a lot of Dutch warm bloods like Leah here, who is now retired, and then actually Ryder is a quarter horse that is doing dressage. So it just kind of depends on what discipline you're doing, what are you going to be using them for, and then what breeds satisfy that. The second thing that I would recommend is to try a horse multiple times before you buy. That doesn't always happen. Like, we bought Ryder sight unseen. Most horses I will try multiple times before I buy them. These two are running through their test for the show next week. Looks pretty good. The third thing that I would say is that when you're going to look at a horse, make sure that you get there ahead of time and have the conversation with the seller ahead of time that, hey, I want to be there through everything, through you pulling them out of a stall, getting them saddled, getting them ready, all of that. There are a lot of great people in the horse world. There are a lot of not as nice people in the horse world that will, very shady, that will, you know, maybe give the horse something to kind of sedate them a little bit so that you come and ride them, you fall in love with them, you get them back to your house, and then they're a wild banshee, you know what I mean? That kind of goes back to point number 2 is ride them multiple times and be there through the entire process. You felt good, huh?
Oh my God, it felt amazing.
Just gonna have a little walk outside and a little breather.
Yeah.
Get this white horse and sun.
I haven't been outside in a long time.
Hello, sun. Breathe. Number 4 is PPE, and if you don't know what that means, that is pre-purchase exam. A PPE is where you have a vet come out and do a full diagnostic kind of assessment of that horse and of that horse's quality and condition. They can do a wellness exam, they can do x-rays, they can do a whole bunch of different things to see if that horse is lame in any sort of area or if they have any sort of health problems. So PPE is almost, I would say almost mandatory in every horse that we buy. Sometimes when you have a horse that maybe is on the lower end of a price category, you may not want to go and spend $500 or $800 for a PPE, but I would still recommend it. We have, I don't know how many horses have we like X-nayed because of PPE?
We only vetted one other than Ryder, and he was a no. When we didn't vet that buckskin that we tried, so.
We have X-nayed a bunch of horses just because of their past history. So the other part of this is, yes, get a PPE, but also try to figure out a history of the horse. Try to figure out where were they, you know, where were they started, where were they born, and kind of what the history was like to you getting them. And that will oftentimes either, you know, confirm what you like, or that may also dissuade you from purchasing a horse. Like, there were a couple horses that we looked at that just based on their history and some things that they had done before we had looked at them, it was just a no-go for us. So get a history of the horse and get a PPE. Final tip that I would say when buying a new horse is to get another set of eyes with you. That may be a trainer, that may be a more experienced horseman or woman. Get somebody that really knows horses to kind of come and help you assess that horse. There's been quite a few times where I really liked a horse, I thought the horse was good, I thought it was a good price, everything kind of checked out. But when I brought somebody in that with a new set of eyes and somebody that wasn't invested or didn't have an interest in that horse, and they said, well, what about this? What about that? Have you thought about this? And that really just kind of will help you make a decision whether to buy the horse or not. So getting somebody that is experienced to help you and just be a fresh set of eyes, that goes a long way. A lot of times it's my wife. Am I missing anything in this what to look for when buying a horse episode? If I did, put it in the comment section down below and let me know. I'm going the shortcut way.